overall deficit for the end of 2025, with a projected overtime deficit of nearly $9 million. Milwaukee County Sheriff Danita Ball.
Although we have decreased our overtime hours, wages have increased, and the amount of overtime allotted does not appear to proportionally reflect the salary increases.
The issues have plagued the agency for decades, even under former sheriffs David Clark and Ernal Lucas. And Milwaukee police want to use facial recognition technology as a new tool for solving crimes. But the plan is drawing strong criticism from city residents.
The technology would be used by police as a lead generator in criminal investigations. MPD Chief of Staff Heather Haw.
The Milwaukee Police Department intends to craft a policy that ensures there's no misuse of the technology.
But residents at Wednesday's Equal Rights Commission meeting expressed fear the policy would lead to misidentification and bias.
Technology that misidentifies people cannot be the foundation of our public safety.
MPD says they're able to set their own policies under provisions in Wisconsin Act 12. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
And a group of neighbors in Manitowoc say they're worried about land near their backyards after the city purchased it to build a parking lot for a hiking trail. Our partners at NBC 26 report that residents like Kate Halligan of the River Heights neighborhood say the new lot will bring more noise and people who don't respect the space.
We respect this space because we live in this space, but when you're inviting people that don't live here to come and enjoy the space, they don't always respect it the same.
The city has not made a decision yet on whether the parking lot will move forward, but neighbors say they plan to keep fighting against the change. And Milwaukee has the longest running Juneteenth celebration since 1971. We're also home to a very story of abolitionism that led to the creation of the Republican Party in Ripon. Local filmmaker Michael Jarr tells WTMJ's What's on Tap about a man who escaped to Racine from slavery.
His slave owner never stopped tracking him down, and he found him in Racine. He came up to Milwaukee, went to the courthouse, got a warrant for Joshua Glover's arrest, and put together a posse with a couple of U.S. deputy marshals. They ended up beating Joshua Glover, tossing him in a jail cell.
Thousands then rallied to his aid using a construction beam from Cathedral Square to break into the jail. Jarr is raising money to turn his mini-documentary, Liberty at Stake, the Joshua Glover story, into a full film. And the Packers begin training camp in just over 1 month, and you're invited.
Training camp kicks off Wednesday, July 23rd, with the first of 3 consecutive public practices. The Friday practice that week will be followed by the annual shareholders meeting at 3 o'clock. In total, 14 practices will be free and open to the public, including a joint practice session with the Seattle Seahawks August 21st. All public practices at Ray Nitschke Field are scheduled to begin at 10:30. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
The Packers' annual Family Night scrimmage is scheduled for August 2nd at Lambeau Field. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News time is 8:04.
Welcome back to Ask Hasslis. I'm Weston. What's your question?
How do you get pee out of an old mattress?
Well,
I'm asking for a friend.
the best way to remove urine from a mattress is to trade in that old mattress for a new Beautyrest or Sealy Posturepedic.
But that'll cost a lot of money.
Not at Hasslis Mattress. Through Monday, trade in your old mattress and get additional savings of $248 off a queen and $348 off a king. And that's on top of our everyday low prices.
Come on, everybody says lowest prices.
Others sell a Sealy Posturepedic Queen Emeryville A mattress for $1268. Hasslis sells it for $1034. But through Monday, it's just $786. And check out the low prices on Beautyrest and more. Plus, free next day delivery.
What does my friend do with his old soaked mattress?
We haul it away for pee.
What was that?
Sorry, I meant for free.
Sure you did.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasslis.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia problems, cognitive decline. It's their specialty. They're great at it. And they also offer early memory loss classes. They can help your loved one with locations throughout our state, many here in southeast Wisconsin. I've been in their facilities. They're top-notch. It's kindness at the core. It's compassion and empathy at Azura. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
It's not summer in Milwaukee without baseball and live music. Get the best of both when the Brewers take on the Rockies, featuring a post-game concert by Nelly June 27th and a Pat Murphy bobble on the 28th. Get your tickets at Brewers.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Rejuvenix Arthritis Pain Clinics. Go to Rejuvenix.com for an appointment.
Rejuvenix. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all Sports Desk. The Brewers beat the Chicago Cubs today, 8-7. The Brewer Crew head to Minneapolis tomorrow to take on the Twins, starting at 7:10 p.m. And the Green Bay Packers set the dates for training camp, which will kick off on Wednesday, July 23rd, and run until Friday, July 25th. The annual shareholders meeting will run at 3 p.m. on that Friday after practice. And Game 6 of the NBA Finals is tonight with the Oklahoma City Thunder leading the series 3-2. Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers need to win tonight's game to make it to Game 7. All right, taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. We've got one incident on the road at I-41 US 45 North at the ramp from Good Hope Road. Left shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Other than that, roads are looking pretty clear across southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight's going to have a slight chance for showers and storms with a low of 64 degrees. Friday, chance for morning rain will become mostly sunny for the rest of the day with a high of 86 degrees. Saturday is going to be sunny, breezy, hot, and humid with a high of 96 degrees. Heat index, though, is up to 108 degrees. Sunday, hot, humid, and sunny with a high of 98 degrees, but that heat index will be up to 110 degrees. And Monday's going to be partly cloudy, hot, and humid with a slight chance of thunderstorms late in the day with a high of 93 degrees. That heat index, again, is up to 105 degrees. Right now in Madison, it's 78 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 65 degrees. In Waukesha, it's 76 degrees. And right here in Milwaukee, it's 72 degrees. I'm Sean Brenda, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 8:08.
On the field, inside the clubhouse, and everything in between. This is Brewers Weekly. Here's Dominic Cotroneo.
Hello, hello, hello. Let's talk ball, shall we? The Brewers take a big split. Man, did they need it today in a thrilling victory over the Cubs. We're going to talk a little bit about some stat milestones, some guys that have really been performing well under your nose, some things that we got to kind of hit the urgency button on. Talking about this hard stretch the Brewers are in, it concludes this weekend against the Twins. 3 games set with the Twins in the border battle, because then you get to maybe take a breath against the Pirates and the Rockies coming up next week for a homestand. We'll also talk a little bit about what's down the line, injury updates, what could those roster moves look like, and of course, we are going to talk in the very next segment about the automated ball strike system and umpiring in Major League Baseball, since that seems like it's a very hot topic today. We will break all of that down here in just a moment. But first, let's get you caught up with what today was maybe one of the wins of the year. You know, I do a top 10 games of the year countdown right around the holidays every year. I can guarantee you this game is going to be on that top 10 list. Let's do it with the highlights.
Ready for this? Out of here! This?
Brought it back! Ho, ho, ho!
And this?
It is gone!
Time for tonight's highlights.
Alrighty, this one was Jameson Taillon against Freddie Peralta. Taillon, very quietly, has been fantastic for the Cubs so far this season, and we've talked about it plenty about fastball Freddie and how accomplished he has been for the Brewers this season. And 3 batters into this game, the scoreboard's already changing.
Taillon kicks and throws. Yelich drives one down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Churiel will score. Yelich puts on the brakes at first base. It's an RBI single, and it's 1-0 Milwaukee.
Jeff Levering on the call. That was after a Jackson Churiel double down the left field line, so the Brewers get out in front. However, in the bottom half of the first, that man did it again. Pete Crow Armstrong on a 2-out, 2-strike, elevated fastball that Freddie probably wanted a little bit higher, but it wasn't a bad pitch by any stretch of the imagination. Hits a line drive out through the wind into right field. 2-run homer gives the Cubs a lead, but this was a theme of the day. The Brewers would not go away quietly. In fact, they avoided the shutdown inning. 2 batters into the top of the second inning. It's Rhys Hoskins.
Hoskins 0 for 2 with a walk Tuesday night. Drives one to deep left field. This ball is hit way back and way gone. Almost out onto Waveland. A homer for Hoskins. Number 11 for Rhys. And we're back to even.
Huge to avoid the shutdown, but they weren't done. The next batter was Isaac Collins. We'll talk plenty about him tonight. He went from 0-2 to 3-2 to draw a walk against Taillon. Really good at bat because it set the stage also with 2 strikes for Caleb Durbin, the North Side kid. He was never a Cubs fan, though.
2-2 on Durbin. Pitch. Fly ball, center field, deep, and gone! The local kid connects for a 2-run bomb, and the Brewers have the lead. Third home run of the season for Caleb Durbin, 4-2 Milwaukee.
So they trailed for only 4 pitches, and then they quickly took the lead back 12 pitches after they tied it. So this was a game that the Brewers got out in front of and were able to run. So they scored 3 in the second. Then in the third inning, a leadoff single from Jackson Chourio. Then it was bang, 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 hits, ambush, ambush, ambush against Tyone.
First offering to him is a liner back up the middle into center field. Down the line and scoring is Chourio. Stopping at second is Yelich. And the Brewers grow their lead to 5-2. 3 straight singles against Tyone here in the top of the third inning.
I mean, it was 4 straight batters that swung at the first pitch against Tyone there in that third. He was worse for wear. He was done after 4 innings. And meanwhile, the Brewers still out in front. In the bottom of the 4th inning, a solo homer from Dansby Swanson after a brilliant stretch from Freddie Peralta. And once he struck out the top 4 in order, Happ, Tucker, Suzuki, and PCA all in order, but then allowed a 3-run homer to Dansby Swanson. Hey, it's Freddie. What can you do? They're a good team. 5th inning, they're into the Cubs bullpen, and after a 1-out walk to William Contreras on 4 pitches, Terang doubled on the ball to right center field that PCA was shaded way over to left center. He wasn't going to be able to make the play. Remember that because with 2 outs, Isaac Collins, now batting from his better side, the right side, goes yard.
As Contreras and Terang take their leads from third and second. 1-1. Fly ball left field. This is hit well. This ball is headed towards the bleachers and gone. Collins, for the second time in as many games, goes deep at Wrigley.
Huge moment for Isaac. He had a great game on Tuesday. He has a great game today. He's playing great left field. More to come on him. So the Brewers, they're cruising, right? They're up 8-3. No big deal. Freddie has a 1-2-3 5th. The bullpen enters. Ashby just allows a single hit in the 6th. Then a 2-run homer by Ian Happ in the 7th. Okay, all right, you're still up 8-5, but your bullpen's rested. You're good to go. Then Abner Uribe comes in for the 8th. Strikes out Suzuki. No big deal. Grazes the toe of Pete Crow Armstrong for hit by pitch. Gets squeezed on a walk. Gets squeezed again on a walk to Michael Busch. The bases are loaded without a hit. Oh, my goodness. And eventually the Cubs would make it a 1-run game after a fielder's choice for Carson Kelly and an infield hit for Nico Horner. It's 8-7. The stage is set. Bottom of the 9th inning. Trevor McGill against the top of the Cubs order. Ian Happ leads off. Gets squeezed again. Walk to lead off the frame. Battles back to strike out Kyle Tucker, which was massive. Then a missed pitch to Seiya Suzuki that could have been strike 3. Instead, it's a 2-2 count, but the biggest case of ball don't lie of the year.
The stretch, he stays the pitch. Ground ball left side, that could be 2 to second for 1. On to first, double play, ball game over. Trevor McGill gets it done, and the Brewers split the 2 games at Wrigley. And they leave Crow Armstrong in the on-deck circle. 16th save of the year for Trevor McGill. Give Freddie Peralta the win, and the Brewers eke one out at Wrigley by a final of 8-7.
We will talk about the strike zone. We will talk about what the future holds for the ABS and the umpires in baseball. But, man, that one felt really good. 8-7, the Brewers get the victory. 855-616-1620 is the phone number. 855-616-1620. We'll talk about the umpiring next on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
This is Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
All right, we're going to get complicated here. Welcome back, Brewers Weekly. I'm Dom Cotroneo. You're going to prepare yourself over the next 19 months or so of some very complex conversations in Major League Baseball leading up to the CBA expiring in December of 2026. Now, remember, right before the last lockout, coming out of the last lockout, I should say, 2022, that there was a slight tweak to the rules committee for Major League Baseball in that the committee then now there's 11 seats. Major League Baseball reps own 6 of the seats, and you only need a simple majority if you're going to make any rule change. There are 6 MLB officials, 4 players, and 1 umpire on the rules committee. Meaning, as long as everybody votes yes for something from the Major League Baseball side, it's going to get approved. And Rob Manfred, a couple of weeks ago, openly saying at a press conference, I would like to see the automated ball strike system in Major League Baseball next season, which is maybe sooner than what some people thought. I think a lot of folks, including umpires, were preparing this system to come into place after the CBA is renewed, if and when. More on that down the road. But that it would have language in the new collective bargaining agreement, that's what CBA stands for in case you weren't familiar, about the automated ball strike system, because it's only been tested in about half of the team's spring training homes. Now, every team has experienced it in spring training, but talking to guys on the Brewers and talking to Pat Murphy and talking to players, especially the veterans, when they were playing in those ballparks with the ABS, they weren't exactly motivated to try it because it's not going to be in play this year. Now, the number one thing that needs to happen if Rob Manfred thinks the automated ball strike system is going to come to Major League Baseball next season is every single spring training facility has to have StatCast. Point blank, period, end of story. That includes the Brewers. And the Brewers did not have it last year. We do not have a full StatCast gamut of cameras in every spring training ballpark. In fact, the only ones that have full StatCast are the ones that also host Arizona Fall League games. So that's Surprise, Scottsdale for the Diamondbacks, Rockies, not Giants, Mesa, and I believe also Peoria has it, but I'm not 100% on that. The point of the matter is there needs to be a significant infrastructure investment in order for players who have not experienced ABS, guys who were not in the minor leagues when it was introduced on its way up. Now, granted, the rookies have more experience in this than the veterans do if you're going to implement automated ball strike next year. Remember, we talked about it all spring training long. You've heard us talk about it, but in case you're wondering what exactly it is not fully automated umpires. And this is coming to mind because of the missed ball strike calls against the Brewers in particular. Now, let's also be very clear. There was a strike 3 call, forget who was batting. It might have been Happ, that was definitely down and away. He gets caught looking in the 3rd inning. That helped the Brewers, right? But it felt like Adam Beck was skittish at the bottom of the zone the rest of the game after that called strike 3. But the point being is we can bag on one bad outing, and it just seems like a bad outing because it all happened in the later stages of the game when the games got close. This is where the ABS could really be helpful. What you do is you challenge it. The number that seems to have been settled on in the minor leagues is 3. So think of it like an NFL challenge, where if you challenge and win, you keep your challenge, just like the replays, in Major League Baseball. So the thought is not fully automated umpires, where the umpire is still calling the majority of balls and strikes. The only people that are allowed to call for a challenge on the automated ball strike system are the players involved, the pitcher, the catcher, and the batter. You cannot look to the dugout, and the dugout's holding up like, oh, wait, we think about challenging. No. It has to be instant. It has to be you tap your helmet, and you make a signal to the umpire like, I want to challenge that. It has to be instant. Like, basically, the ball can't be back to the pitcher before you make that challenge. That's how quick this decision has to be. And then everyone goes, time. The previous play has been challenged. We all look to the video board. It's like tennis. And everyone goes, strike 3, you're gone. That's what it's going to look like. And allegedly, it could happen next season. So imagine the energy and imagine the groans from the Wrigley faithful today of all of those missed strike calls and the deflating energy that I would give for that crowd where it's like, oh, strike 3. Oh, strike 2. Like whatever it ended up being. This is not meant to be a segment to bag on the umpires. And I had somebody calling me out today for the tweet that I had about the fact that there are 313 pitches in this game today. Now, not all of them were calls, right? A lot of them were swung and put into play and that sort of thing. And I didn't feel like checking the math on how many balls and called strikes there were in this game. The point being, the ball is being thrown harder than ever, with more movement than ever, from more arm angles than ever. It has never been harder to be a home plate umpire in any era of Major League Baseball. These guys are the best in the world. The best. Maybe not Laz. But the point being, you need to give these guys a little bit of breathing room to believe that I have the lucky privilege to work these national games with TBS. And in national games, the umpires get mic'd up. And you get to hear a lot more of the conversations that way, sometimes just organically, it bleeds through the microphones, whatever it is. And the conversations big leaguers have with the umpires on a pitch-by-pitch basis is a lot more back and forth than you may expect. What you'll see or hear, if you're, in the box, you take a pitch, let's say it's right on your inside corner, and ump calls a strike. You turn back to the ump. Is that the edge? And the umpire can say, yeah, that's it. That's the edge. Okay, cool. Or then you take a pitch that's on the inner third, you take it, it's called a strike. And they're like, is that the edge? And then the umpire will say, no, there's more than that. That happens every single batter getting confirmation. Is that the top? Is that the bottom? You got more than that? Is it less than that? Or then you'll see a guy swing at a 3-1 pitch and foul it out of play, and then he'll turn around to the blue. That was a strike, right? And the umpire will nod his head. Or you'll see catchers, in order not to show up the umpire, they'll have their head down, like just confirming the strike zone and still doing the art of, hey, what'd you like, what I didn't like, that sort of thing. These were small misses, but important misses in a one-run game against your rival. That's why it feels so magnified. And there have been misses. There will be more misses down the road, and maybe even there'll be times in the ABS that you're like, really? Because one of the things they're trying to define right now with the ABS is what shape will the strike zone be? Are the corners going to be as rigid as you think they are? Or the feedback from the players has been the strike zone might be more of an oval than it is a rigid square than you think. An oval, especially in the top corners. And then also the definitions of breaking balls. Like breaking balls at the top of the zone have never been a strike in history. But by the computer, it just nicks the back of the zone, and that gets called a strike. Like, where's the line? And that's why it's continued to be tested in AAA right now to make sure they have it right. Now, it will be proposed. Who knows if it gets approved? The point is, the umpires are better than they ever have been, and the television box is making things more acrimonious, more vitriol, and that TV box is not official. I would know. I know how it's set up. It is not official. It's like the very early days of the first down line. The yellow line is not official. And you would see it move all the time, right? That box is not official. StatCast has the ABS zone locked into Baseball Savant. And the last point I'll make on this, too, is that, when we heard guys get officially measured for the top of their zone, there's a certain formula. I believe it's 2/3 of their height is officially the top of the zone, no matter what their batting stance is. The reason I'm okay with that is you now tell a player who all these guys have hitting facilities they go to in the offseason, and you tell a player, hey, you can load this into TrackMan. This is the top of your zone. Train on it all offseason long. This is the bottom of your zone. Train on it all season long. The width of the plate doesn't change. You now have a quantitative way to understand your strike zone. And I think that can make the quality of the product better for everybody. I'm for a long time, I was anti-ABS. And the last couple of months, I've been coming around on it. I really came around on it in spring training. And then now, after a day like today, I'm in. I'm ready for it. I'm excited to see what the ABS can do in Major League Baseball. All right. That out of the way, let's talk about how good the Brewers are playing right now. Holy cow. Got to look outside real quick and realize, from a 30,000-foot view, this team's doing some good things. We'll talk about that next on 620 WTMJ.
When it rains, it pours. But sometimes it hails. Or worse.
That tornado warning again is for Fond du Lac and Dodge County. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now.
Keep us within reach for Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts.
Even if a tornado does not touch down, we know that there are powerful straight line winds.
On 620 WTMJ and WTMJ.com.
When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zaneski. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. At Quality, we offer the most respected brand names in heating and air conditioning. Armstrong and Carrier. It doesn't get any better. And our technicians are top-notch. I know, because I handpicked every one of them. They're vetted and thoroughly trained. Hey, they're the cream of the crop. And that's why our quality workmanship guarantee is the strongest in the business.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Most insurance accepted.
It's Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo, 855-616-1620. Till the top of the hour, we're talking Brewers. This is Brewers Weekly. Real quick look at your upcoming broadcast schedule this weekend. Border battle. Last time the Brewers will face the Twins this year. Twins won the first series of the year back at American Family Field about a month and a half ago or so. Tomorrow, 7:10 first pitch. We're on the air at 6. Yours truly. Got you for Brewers warm-up and post-game as well. Then, 1 o'clock day games, Saturday and Sunday. The best kind of day games. There should only be 3 start times. 1, 6, and 7. Nothing else. None of this 1:20, none of this 6:40. No. 1, 6, and 7. That's it. Anyway, get off my lawn. The Brewers get the Twins. They come back home for the Pirates, and then an off day again a week from today. So that's what your upcoming schedule looks like here for the Crew. And we talked about it with this weekend being the end of this really important stretch for the Crew after the last time they had seen the Pirates. You know, they split that series 2-2, but really started to find their edge again in that series. We talked about how important it was in that next 24 games. Or I should say 25 games. Great, because one of these games got rained out. So now, in their last 21 games, since that split against the Pirates, the Brewers are 14-7. 2/3 of their games that they have played, they have won. Now, that's not sustainable, but that's a 600 winning percentage. That's a 90-win pace. That's really good. 3-0 against Boston, 3-0 against Philly, 2-1 against Cincinnati. And that's even with series losses to the Padres and the Braves. 3-1 against the Cardinals, 1-1 against the Cubs. And I know some folks wanted this to be a doubleheader today. There are always more things at hand than the meets the eye. I'm sure the Brewers wanted to play this a doubleheader today. The Cubs had their own reasons. City of Chicago and the neighborhood have their own reasons, is what they want to tell you. And when you look ahead to say, oh my gosh, they're going to have to play 17 in a row. Now it's going to be 18 in a row. Every team goes through a stretch like this. Every single one. So put down your pitchforks. I understand it's frustrating. But yet, the Brewers are going to use that stretch in August. Say, you know what? To heck with them. Galvanize them. Get them going, because that's going to be a very difficult stretch later on in the year, not just because of the 5 games in 4 days in Chicago now because of that doubleheader that gets rescheduled. But on top of it, you have an oddity with an off day there in the middle of it all, too. So they get the off day on Thursday, August 7th. Home for 3 against the Mets. Home for 3 against the Pirates. They go to Cincy for 3, to Chicago for 5, home for San Francisco, and that's Bob Uecker weekend. Home for 4 against the Diamondbacks. Who knows what they're going to look like by then. On the road, real quick, up to Toronto, north of the border. 3 with them. 1 at home against Philly on Labor Day. Off day on a Tuesday, because Major League Baseball has rules on how many consecutive games you can play in a row. So they don't want them to miss Labor Day. They'll take that Tuesday off day. But then it doesn't get any easier, because you get an off day that Thursday of the following week when you're coming back from Texas. Then you get pretty consistent Monday off days the rest of the way. So it all levels out. That's going to be a tough stretch, but that's down the road. We talked about this 25-game stretch. If you can somehow finish 13-12, you'd be happy. Now, granted, it's only going to be 24 games, so let's say you would have been happy with 12-12. I think every single one of you would have been happy with 12-12. But the fact that they're 14-7, it's huge. And they have a chance, let's say they win the series, to go 16-8 in a 24-game stretch against quality opponents. That's really good. And that's with some kind of lackluster performances up and down this lineup, and with a young pitching staff that still has not had a single inning from Brandon Woodruff, that still has only had 2 starts from Nestor Cortez, that still has had, injury, a trade request and an injury to Aaron Savali, rookies and Chad Patrick, Logan Henderson, and Jacob Mizorowski now in the fold. I'm just saying, man, it's easy to be optimistic, to think that some of these numbers we're going to talk about in the next segment have to get better, and they're doing this while playing quality baseball, playing Brewers baseball, and yet there's still room to get better from obvious sources, which I think is what's most exciting about what the Brewers are going through against these quality opponents. Now, it doesn't mean lay an egg against the Twins, because you've already accomplished your goal for this 3-week stretch. It also doesn't mean lay an egg against the Pirates and the Marlins, but you get the point. You've got an opportunity now to really take hold of this wild card race, because, by the way, the Brewers are in the wild card hunt. Phillies lead at 45-30. They're 5 games clear. They're the best second-place team in baseball. And mind you, they've already been swept by the Mets earlier this year, so we're going to keep an eye on that season series tiebreaker. Then you've got the Giants at 42-33. They're in the second wild card spot. And currently, a 3-way tie, San Diego, Milwaukee, and St. Louis, all tied. Right now, the Brewers have the edge in the season series, 4-3 against the Cardinals. You won't see them again for a while. Also, you'll see San Diego on the last road trip of the year, so that could be very impactful at the very end of the season. While the Central is going to be tough, contrary to my belief, the Brewers are in this wild card race. I did not think that was going to happen at the beginning of the year, but here they are. playing quality baseball. Man, 14-7 over the last 21. Love that. So let's talk about some of the guys that are helping, some of the guys that need to get going. That's up next on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. The big focus in America today is on your health, right? So why aren't you feeling any better? Your knees always hurt, your shoulders keep you from exercising, and you're done with all the pills and the steroids, and you cringe at the thought of surgery. You've done everything, but the pain is always there. It's exhausting. This is when you got to call QC Kinetics. It's revolutionary treatment. It works to give your body long-term relief. Regenerative treatments takes your body's own healing power and helps and restore your damaged tissue. Call QC Kinetics today and get yourself a free sit-down. Talk to Dr. Justine Bennon. She's great. I've met with her. You can walk through the process with her. She explains it in a way that's understandable, and she can do the same for you. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today and get your life back. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
So how is that possible? 1.9% real estate commission? There must be something you're not telling me.
I hear that a lot. The truth is, everybody could do it, but they choose not to because folks keep paying more than they have to. I guess they just haven't heard yet that Century 21 Benefit Realty can make that 1.9% real estate commission promise on the sale of your home and stick to it. So I'd like to think that's going to make your decision easy. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and that goes double for your home listing, because that's how you're going to get the most value. By having a customized marketing plan specific to your property with professional photos, global marketing, and the built-in experience that Century 21 Benefit Realty has brought to the table since 2004. And being joined with Century 21 just makes all of the above stand out that much more. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
Happy opening day of Summerfest. I'm in the studios. The rest of our hosts have been doing stuff from Summerfest. Should be fun 3 weeks. Big gig is here. I will say, I got a little bit of FOMO missing out on, the Killers next weekend. Really wanted to see them. They're a fun show. 10 out of 10, would recommend. Anyway, Brewers Weekly rolling on here. Just real quick segment here about kind of who's hot, who's not. But the first guy I want to point out is somebody we played a highlight for earlier today is Isaac Collins. Because, gosh darn it, the Brewers have done it again. You know, he's taken a Blake Perkins route to this team, right? Perkins was in the Nationals organization originally, spent out his time. He was a high school pick. Then, minor league free agent, Yankees pick him up. Spends the whole year in Double and Triple A. Then the Brewers acquire him. And then, boom, he's a big leaguer in 2023. And then, boom, he's a difference maker in 2024. And now he's been hurt all year, but he's coming back. We'll talk about that next. But Isaac Collins was a minor league Rule 5 draft. What does that mean? He was essentially released by the Colorado Rockies. If you're not protected on the minor league Rule 5 draft, that's team saying, sure, take him. And this is another moment where the Brewers scouting department, specifically the pro scouting department, and the departments that are always looking at other organizations, notch another win in their ballot. Because, let's be honest, he had a sub 650 OPS in Double A. I'm sure some folks are thinking, what's there to like? But underneath, the Brewers see elite plate discipline, a switch hitter, an athlete. That's one of the things that they love. They don't like, stoic, singular. The days of Travis Shaw playing second base and Mike Moustakas playing second base and shallow right field are long gone, folks. Versatility matters. And Isaac Collins fit that bill. And they were patient with him. They let him, kind of grow in AAA and continue to perform and sort of get comfortable praising his plate discipline. Like, yeah, you can draw a walk. We see the value of a walk in this organization. Just to look at it, right? In AAA in 2023, when he was first acquired, in AA in 2023, when the Brewers' first season in the Brewers organization, his strikeout rate dropped by 6 points. His walk rate went up by 7 points. In just 1 year, year over year, age 24 to age 25. On-base percentage went up by almost 100 points. Then, 2024, spends most of the year in AAA,
500 plate appearances in AAA, that's pretty good sample size. 14% walk rate. Only a 19% strikeout rate. That's pretty good against better competition, too. A 128 WRC+. plus. Okay, that's pretty good. And now, learning a new position, he's not an outfielder by trade. He's a middle infielder. Isaac Collins, he's got a WRC plus over 110 now. Can we talk about that for a second? I know it's a small sample still, only about 140, 150 plate appearances. Dude, they've done it again. They keep finding these guys that other organizations don't find valuable. Give them playing time, and they've been impressive. Being a switch hitter is so valuable in today's game. So Isaac Collins, got to give him a massive shout out. Of course, the strikeout rate's going to go up a little bit higher when you're in the big leagues. But man, when you're doing damage like he is right now, his last 12 games, all in the month of June, 290 average, 1,100 OPS. Thank you very much. Really excited. And maybe it's the Brewers Weekly bump from him joining the show a couple of episodes ago. Real quick, though. Guy needs to kick it into gear. We talked about him last week. William Contreras. The good news with William, 46 walks leads the team. His on-base is still north of 358. In fact, it's the best on-base percentage on the team, only 5 points ahead of Isaac Collins. That's meant to tell you, okay, he's seeing the ball better. You have to imagine the finger is healing. He is feeling better with that. Starting to see some more thump. 10 doubles now, 6 homers. If he can somehow get this to, you've got about 3.5 weeks till the All-Star break, say 22 games or so. If William can get to the All-Star break in double-digit homers and, let's say, more than 15 doubles, I'm excited for what the second half could be for him. But him in the middle of this offense, he needs to be a run producer, a run scorer. We saw him do it a little bit today, and it gives you belief the Brewers can win slugfests like today. Let's talk about the injured list. That's coming up next. Brewers got some reinforcements on the way. Who, when, how, why, coming up after this on 620 WTMJ.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you, who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Buying a new roof might not be the most exciting thing you'll do this year, but for us at Big Fish Contracting, being chosen to do that roof for you not only provides income for multiple families in southeastern Wisconsin, but has a global reach and impact around the world. To us, it's more than just a roof. We've been earning trust for over 2 decades, roofing, siding, windows, and more. Go to bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
It's not summer in Milwaukee without baseball and live music. Get the best of both when the Brewers take on the Rockies, featuring a post-game concert by Nelly June 27th and a Pat Murphy bobble on the 28th. Get your tickets at Brewers.com.
Tyson's Home Farm Auto is opening a new store in Ripon, and they're hiring. They'd love to have you on their team. Join them for open interviews on Tuesday, June 24th from 9 to 7 and Wednesday, June 25th, 9 to 5 at the Ripon Public Library, or apply online at theisens.com/careers. Tyson's has over 50 immediate full and part-time positions available for sales associates, cashiers, receiving, and more. Tyson's offers a complete benefit package. Stop by the Ripon Public Library June 24th and 25th, or apply online for an opportunity to join Tyson's team.
Why settle for just a job when you could have a career in the exciting automobile industry? The Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee new car dealer members have service, technician, sales, administrative, and management positions available now. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an Adam new car dealer.
For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.jobs. That's ADAMM.jobs.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Sean Brinda. This is a WTMJ Fleet Farm Storm Team Alert. The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Sheboygan County until 9:15 p.m. More details and interactive radar right now at our WTMJ app and at WTMJ.com. WTMJ News Time is 8:47.
This is Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
Let's talk a little roster construction, shall we? I'm Dom Cotroneo. Got about another 10 or so minutes left in the program. Down the line, what's coming up on the injured list for the Crew? First and foremost, it seems like Garrett Mitchell's rehab is going to be a short one, given he's already back in AAA Nashville. Now, they had a rain delay earlier tonight, and they did end up finishing that game? I don't know if they did or didn't, but I'm pulling up their box score right now. Oh, they've resumed that game. They're down 6-1. Garrett did not play in today's game, probably due to the conditions that were expected with the rain and everything that was going down in Nashville. But looking at Garrett so far this year, since coming on rehab, just 2 for 5, 2 singles, 2 walks, no strikeouts. So Garrett probably needs, a week and a half of games, 10 games, 12 games, and then he'll be back here, if that. And then what could the move be there? Now, Garrett is still on the 15-day IL, which is important to note. Doesn't need a corresponding 40-man move to get him on the roster, but you would need an active roster move. It's not going to be Isaac Collins, I can promise you that. That's where it seems like maybe, now these things have a way of working themselves out, but where you look at a guy like Daz Cameron, who has not been really getting into games all that often, that Daz, by the way, is out of options. So you have to hope he clears waivers if you're going to keep him in the organization down at AAA. Otherwise, the team can claim him and do the same song and dance. Remember, the Brewers claimed him from the Orioles when they DFA'd, I forget the name of the pitcher already, because he came up, didn't make a debut, and then immediately goes to the Orioles. Anyway, so that's one way that you can get Garrett Mitchell back on the roster. But then it gets more complicated when Blake Perkins returns. Now, Blake's a little further away. Remember, you get 20 days as a position player rehabber to come back. Now, he's still in Arizona, and I imagine it's going to be a step and repeat where Garrett comes up to the big leagues and Blake goes up to AAA. And Blake, I imagine they're going to use all 20 days available to them to get him back healthy because he essentially missed all of spring training as well. But that's where the roster decision becomes a little bit more complicated. It will depend on the performance, but you're going to have to keep an eye on who is performing when Garrett returns. Could it be Garrett that gets optioned? Maybe. Could it be Isaac that gets optioned? Maybe. Could it be somebody else that we're not foreseeing being released? Perhaps. But performance will dictate this. But all of a sudden, the Brewers are getting closer to full strength for the first time this year. To have Garrett and Blake back on the same roster for the first time this year, to have 2 premier center fielders, that would be really, really fun. And then finally, what do you do when Brandon Woodruff comes back? Now, he's only thrown a bullpen, probably throw another up-down bullpen and then go down to Nashville. And he's hinted himself, won't take long for him to get back on the bump. Maybe 2 starts in AAA before he decides to return from his long-awaited shoulder, then ankle, now elbow bruise. That's where the hard conversation comes in with somebody like Chad Patrick. Something we talked about a while ago when Woody seemed to be imminently coming back. The Brewers are trying to preserve that final option year of Quinn Priester. They would rather option Chad Patrick while he continues to refine the slider and true secondary pitches like we saw him struggle with on Tuesday night. I still think he's going to be a factor on this team down the stretch. Somebody else could go down, be a little bit sore, and Chad's the first one back up. But man, You look at the health of this organization with their young starting pitching for next season. You still got Freddie under contract for one more year. You got Chad Patrick. You got Logan Henderson. You got Jacob Mizorowski, all under contract. You got Ashby and Hall that will consider themselves as starting candidates. Quinn Priester will obviously be back too. Robert Gasser. You can see this new wave forming of young arms, young controllable arms that the Brewers have heading into next year. So they're going to do everything in their power to keep them controlled. Oh, by the way, Tobias Myers. Oh, by the way, Carlos Rodriguez. Oh, by the way, Tyson Harden, who just got promoted to Double-A this year. Keep an eye out, Tyson Harden. You heard it here. But anyway, they're getting healthy, man. And that's why I'm excited for this second half, because the Brewers are legitimate wildcard contenders. The division's going to be tough. And I know some people think, wow, you're already punting on the division? No. You win more games than the Cubs, sure. I'm all for it, but they're really good, right? Like tell me with a straight face that you are as good or better than the Cubs right now. Yes, they won today. It's definitely the Cubs have jumped the hurdle, but will they stay ahead? We all remember 2018. All right, let's say goodbye after this. Brewers get a big win today. Let's preview the border battle next on 620 WTMJ.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
Hey, Debbie. Southbound 794. There was just an accident. Right now, it looks like at least one lane is closed.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Highway 45 southbound. A tire came off of a car.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
Northbound 41 at Burleigh. 3 vehicle accident just happened in front of me.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
CertaPro Painters, the best in the business. WTMJ's John Mercure here. My wife and I were shocked at how thoughtful they are, how amazing they are, how they moved things that needed to be moved and got their jobs done fast and efficiently. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Slots are filling up fast. Now's the time for your home or your business. Get on their schedule. They will transform your house. It'll be the best-looking house in the neighborhood. The teams I trust are at CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards. They're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel. It's a glow-up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
It's not summer in Milwaukee without baseball and live music. Get the best of both when the Brewers take on the Rockies, featuring a post-game concert by Nelly June 27th and a Pat Murphy bobble on the 28th. Get your tickets at brewers.com.
Brake issues, electrical issues, four-wheel drive issues, exhaust issues, and even my car just won't start issues.
You name it, we fixed it.
So the next time you're due for service, drive it on into Richlands and let our ASE certified technicians get you fixed up and safely back on the road.
Nothing warms my heart more than seeing our customers drive out of here with big old smiles on their faces. And all the credit goes to our staff, the most friendly, honest, hard-working, knowledgeable people in the business.
5 conveniently located facilities, all AAA approved,
and all staffed by ASE certified technicians, ready to provide you with top-notch service.
And after your vehicle's been serviced, drop us a Google review and let us know how we did.
Because a Google review from you goes a long way. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
It's Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
About the last couple of minutes of the show. Again, we got post-game shows all weekend long, even with the day games. I'm Dom Cotroneo. 7 o'clock tomorrow, 1 o'clock Saturday and Sunday, and then back home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday against the Buccos, the Pittsburgh Pirates. So, Jacob Mizorowski gets moved back one day. He will start tomorrow against the Twins. That'll be up against Joe Ryan. Really good pitching matchup. Joe Ryan shoved it against the Brewers last time they saw him. Then it'll be Jose Quintana on Saturday against Simeon Woods Richardson, back from the injured list. He's been in and out, like really good and really frustrating for the Twins. And then Quinn Priester against David Festa for the Twins. And the Twins, you know, the Brewers last saw them, they were on fire, having won 13 in a row at one point earlier this year. They have come back down to earth. You know, they went from a team that was 13-20. Then they won those 13 in a row to 26-20. But now they're back to one game under 500. Granted, they're back to 500, I should say, since they beat the Reds earlier today to salvage the finale and avoid getting swept. The final of that one was 12-5. But so they're a 500 team. They're 6 under since the last time the Brewers saw them. And that includes series losses to the Rays, the Mariners, the Blue Jays, the Rangers, getting swept by the Astros, losing the series to the Reds. So, in fact, the last series win was winning 3 out of 4 in Sacramento, which, well, you know how I feel about that. And then the Twins will get the Brewers and the Mariners on this homestand. So an opportunity once again for the Crew to beat up a team while they're down, try to take advantage of it, and they've got a really good pitching lined up for them. Now, Paul Skeens pitched today, by the way, looking ahead to the Pirates, which if you could extrapolate it out, he could pitch on either Tuesday or Wednesday of next week here in Milwaukee. So if you got tickets, if you're thinking about it and you want to see Paul Skeens, I'd anticipate it being either Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Then we'll have another Brewers Weekly next Thursday night. Same time, same place, 8 o'clock right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ. And then it's the Rockies in town. 3 more post-game shows there, and then another off day. So the Brewers have an opportunity to just sort of take a breather. Got a chance once you get through this Twins series, and then the 3 against Pittsburgh, another off day, and it starts coming with a little more regularity leading into the All-Star break. You have an off day every week leading into the break. And then you get 4 consecutive Thursdays off coming out of the break, playing 6 games a week. So this team's going to be in really good shape, well-rested, having an opportunity to get out and run a little bit. Try to generate some momentum heading into the All-Star break because, man, this team is set up to be buyers once again, and that's all you can really ask for. Be competitive in July. As bad as early May was, as frustrating as some of those games were, they're in this. Contrary to popular belief, the rumors of the Brewers' demise has been greatly exaggerated. Should be fun. Hope to see you all at the ballpark this week. Should be a ton of Brewers fans up in Minnesota as well. Our producer has been Matt Yazel. My name is Dominic Cotroneo. We'll talk to you after the game tomorrow. Brewers win a big one. Until then, keep on swinging.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and